Hey friends, do you know what is the top 10 natural disasters in the world? If you don't know, just watch the video. If you like this video, just subscribe to my channel and keep bell icon because you never miss our content. Okay, let's begin the video. Top 10 natural disasters in the world. 1. The 1931 Yangtze River floods. Excessive rainfall over central China in July and August of 1931 triggered the most deadly natural disaster in world history, the Central China floods of 1931. The Yangtze River overtopped its banks as spring snowmelt mingled with the over 24 inches, 600 millimeters, of rain that fell during the month of July alone. The Yellow River and other large waterways also reached high levels. According to the nature of disaster in China, the 1931 Yangtze River flood opens a new tab. Cambridge University Press, 2018. The flood inundated almost 70,000 square miles, 180,000 square kilometers, and turned the Yangtze into what looked like a giant lake or ocean. Contemporary government numbers put the number of dead at around 2 million, but other agencies, including NOAA, say it may have been as many as 3.7 million people. 2. The 1887 Yellow River flood. The Yellow River, Huanghe, in China was precariously situated far above most of the land around it in the late 1880s thanks to a series of dikes built to contain the river as it flowed through the farmland of central China. Over time, these dikes had silted up, gradually lifting the river in elevation. When heavy rains swelled the river in September 1887, it spilled over these dikes into the surrounding low-lying land, inundating 5,000 square miles, 12,949 square kilometers, according to Encyclopedia of Disasters, Environmental Catastrophes, and Human Tragedies, Greenwood Publishing Group, 2008. As a result of this flood, an estimated 900,000 to 2 million people lost their lives. 3. The 1556 Shaanxi earthquake. The deadliest earthquake in history hit China's Shaanxi province on 23 January 1556. Known as the Jiajing Great Earthquake after the emperor whose reign it occurred in, the temblor reduced a 621 square mile, 1,000 square kilometers, swath of the country to rubble, according to the Science Museums of China. An estimated 830,000 people died as their Yaodong, cave homes carved into the region's lowest plateaus, collapsed. The exact magnitude of the quake is lost to history, but modern-day geophysicists estimate it at around magnitude 8. 4. The 1970 Bhola cyclone. This tropical cyclone hit what is now Bangladesh, then East Pakistan, on November 12 to 13, 1970. According to NOAA's Hurricane Research Division, opens a new tab. The storm's strongest wind speeds measured 130 miles per hour, 205 kilometers per hour, making it the equivalent of a Category 4 major hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. Ahead of its landfall, a 35-foot, 10.6 m, storm surge washed over the low-lying islands bordering the Bay of Bengal, causing widespread flooding. The storm surge, combined with a lack of evacuation, resulted in a massive death toll estimated at 300,000 to 500,000 people. A 1971 report from the National Hurricane Center and the Pakistan Meteorological Department acknowledged the challenge of accurately estimating the death toll, especially due to the influx of seasonal workers who were in the area for the rice harvest. As of the writing of this article, the Bhola cyclone is considered the deadliest tropical cyclone on record, according to the World Meteorological Organization. And it caused an estimated $86 billion in damages. 5. The 2010 Haiti earthquake. The catastrophic magnitude 7.0 earthquake that struck Haiti just northwest of Port-au-Prince on 12 January 2010 ranks as one of the 3 deadliest quakes of all time. Haiti, standing as one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere, and its limited history of large earthquakes left it extremely vulnerable to damages and loss of life. As many as 3 million people were affected by the quake. Death toll estimates were all over the place. Initially, the government of Haiti estimated fatalities stood at 230,000 people, but in January 2011, officials revised that figure to 316,000. A 2010 study published in the journal Medicine, Conflict and Survival put the number at around 160,000 deaths, while the USGS claimed even lower numbers, around 100,000. These disparities reflect the difficulty of counting deaths even in the modern era, not to mention the political wrangling that goes on over official numbers. 6. The 1839 Koringa Cyclone. The Koringa cyclone made landfall at the port city of Koringa on India's Bay of Bengal on 25 November 1839, whipping up a storm surge of 40 feet, 12 meters, according to NOAA's Atlantic Oceanographic and Meteorological Laboratory Hurricane Research Division. The hurricane's wind speeds and category are not known, as is the case for many storms that took place before the 20th century. About 20,000 ships and vessels were destroyed, along with the lives of an estimated 300,000 people. 7. The 1920 Haiyuan earthquake. The Haiyuan earthquake was the largest quake recorded in China in the 20th century with the highest magnitude and intensity, Deng Qidong, a geologist with the Chinese Academy of Sciences, said during a seminar in 2010. The earthquake, which struck north-central China's Haiyuan County on 16 December 1920, also rocked the neighboring Gansu and Shanxi provinces. It was reportedly a 7.8 on the Richter scale, however, China today claims it was of magnitude 8.5. There are also discrepancies in the number of lives lost. The USGS opens a new tab, reported total casualties of 200,000. But according to a 2010 study, opens a new tab, by Chinese seismologists, the death toll could have been as high as 273,400. The region's high deposits of loess soils, porous, silty sediment that's very unstable, triggered massive landslides which were responsible for over 30,000 of these deaths, according to a 2020 study published in the journal Landslides. 8. The AD 526 Antioch earthquake. As with all disasters occurring millennia ago, a precise death toll for the Antioch earthquake is hard to come by. Contemporary chronicler John Malalas wrote at the time that about 250,000 people died when the trembler hit the Byzantine Empire city, now Turkey and Syria, in May 526. Malalas attributed the disaster to the wrath of God and reported that fires destroyed everything in Antioch that the earthquake did not. According to a 2007 paper in the Medieval History Journal, the death toll was higher than it would have been at other times of the year because the city was full of tourists celebrating Ascension Day, the Christian feast that commemorates Jesus' ascension into heaven. 9. The 1976 Tangsha earthquake. At 3:42 a.m. on 28 July 1976, the Chinese city of Tangsha was razed to the ground by a magnitude 7.8 earthquake, according to a report by the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, opens a new tab. Tangsha, an industrial city with a population of about 1 million at the time of the disaster, suffered staggering casualties of over 240,000. While this was the official death toll, some experts suggest this number is grossly underestimated and that the loss of life was likely closer to 700,000. Reportedly, 85% of Tangsha's buildings collapsed, and trembles were felt in Beijing, China, more than 100 miles, 180 kilometers, away. It took several years before the city of Tangsha was rebuilt to its prior glory. 10. The AD 1138 Aleppo earthquake. On 11 October 1138, the ground under the Syrian city of Aleppo began to shake. The city sits on the confluence of the Arabian and African plates, making it prone to tremblers, but this one was particularly violent. The magnitude of the quake is lost to time, but contemporary chroniclers reported that the city's citadel collapsed and houses crumbled across Aleppo. The resulting death toll is estimated at around 230,000. But that figure comes from the 15th century, and the historian who reported it may have conflated the Aleppo quake with one that occurred in what is now the modern-day Eurasian country of Georgia, according to a 2004 paper in the journal Annals of Geophysics. Still, this supposed death toll ties this event as the 10th most deadly natural disaster of all time.